Okay, welcome. We are live for this episode of 20-Minute Transformation. For those of you who are joining for the first time, welcome. My name's Grant Herbert, and I really wanted to make sure that I was able to give you something where you can make one shift that gets a big impact, but only takes 20 minutes of your time in your day for me to go through. And I'd love you to get involved and join our community in asking questions, whatever it is you need, it's all in here for you as well. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about a shift in your ability to position yourself. Positioning yourself, whether that be in your firm, in your profession, or in the marketplace. And positioning yourself as the go-to authority. Now, invisible to in demand might be thinking, oh, hang on a minute, I don't want to be in demand. There'll be more people who want me, but we're talking about a good in demand here. And just like everything that we do here, it's in the curriculum of the 9 shifts leadership model. And today we're in, as I said, positioning. Positioning is helping you go from being, as we said, invisible, which is a little bit like the Swiss Army knife. People think, oh, you do all these things and you can help me with all this stuff, but it's not really finite, to being like the brain surgeon. And in fact, not just the brain surgeon, but the brain surgeon who operates on this certain part of the brain. They're an authority and therefore in demand. And when you're in demand, you can have perfect fit clients. You can decide who it is that you want to work with, and you can have a practice that's full all the time. I know that this is one area that a lot of professionals, particularly people who are experts, who are technical experts, they don't like to do. I get out there and do all those things like networking and making myself be seen out there and getting clients. And we need to shift some thinking around that. I'm going to help you do that today. However, I do understand that this is extra stuff that you've got to do outside your fee earning time. So stick with me, and hopefully I'm going to be able to get you to take one little step that's going to help you to make some change today. All right, so if you're following along in the workbook, if you haven't got it, you can grab it down below and come back and fill it in again. You'll have a replay of this available in the community. And this model, I call it the positioning blueprint. I love to have blueprints. I love to have things that go, do this, do this, do this. If you put this in there, that's how it works, because it means that I haven't got to just make it up as I go along. I haven't got to second guess myself. All right, so 3 areas that we need to focus on when we are positioning ourselves, whether it be, as I said, in the profession, in your firm, in the marketplace. The first is your brand. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. However, this is your brand, right? This is not a product brand. This is not a firm brand. This is your brand. The second thing you've got to have is a reach. You've got to be able to have connections, a network of people that you can get your message out to. That brand says something about you, and you need to get that message out there. And the third part of this blueprint is your authority. Now, this isn't an authority where you tell people what to do and they do it. This is a totally different authority. This is where you become that go-to authority in the realm of where it is that you want to work, the people who are your perfect fit clients. Now, this also sometimes has a bit of a challenge for people because, I don't want to see myself as an authority. I'm just this and I'm just that. And that's more identity work that we can continue as we do every day to go through. All right, so those 3 are where if we go through the whole lot of what we do here, I take people through. All right, so why would we want to do that? Let's have a look. So when you have a brand, and the type of brand, as I said, you as the brand, that has a message and it's easily understood, and then you've got a reach that you can get that out to, then that's all about attraction. That's attracting people to listen to you, to get in front of you, to come and see you. And that's okay. When you have that brand and you start to build an authority, that gets people's attention. They stop to scroll, they listen, they go, wow, hang on a minute, what was that guy, what was that lady saying? And then when your authority has a reach, this is where you become more influential. Now, I'm not talking about an influencer. I'm not talking about someone on TikTok or Instagram that's got 1 million followers and people just love watching you. No, that's not what we're talking about here. And in fact, I would prefer to have less followers that are actually attuned to the message that I'm wanting to get out there. All right, so that gives you a little bit of an understanding of the blueprint. So let's have a look at some of those aspects. The first question I want to ask you is what your relationship is with selling. Now, I know that we don't call it selling in professional services, do we? It's business development. Well, we can put a fancy name on it, but it's selling. And unfortunately, some people have an understanding, and the word selling has a connotation to it that is negative. So I'd love you to just think about that. How do you finish that sentence? Selling is. You could be thinking about the used car salesman or the person that rings you at dinner time. I don't know why they do that. Right on dinner time with a call to sell you solar or whatever it is. Someone who connects with you on LinkedIn, the next minute they're in your messages and they're trying to sell you their products. No, you might be thinking that. But what is selling to you? Because if you do not have a healthy relationship with selling, you're not going to be able to develop any of this stuff that we're talking about here. All right, so let me give you my definition of selling. Selling is serving. Selling is serving. What do I mean by that? Okay, so you have expertise. You have solutions to people's problem. And if you get that out there, you're actually serving them. Rather than if you have a challenge with the word selling, or you don't want to network or do business development or whatever you want to call it, then you're holding back from people what they need from you. The whole purpose of you getting into the profession that you're in is so that you could be a solution solver for people. Right? Yes, we had to commercialize that because we all have mortgages and things to pay, but in essence, that is what you're doing. So flipping that mindset around selling is really going to help you. If that's the only shift that you make in this 20 minutes, that is definitely going to help you. All right, so selling is serving. Now that we've said that, what I want to now do is take you through what I call the hierarchy of selling. And people start off by selling, as I said before, they talk about their profession. So you might be a lawyer, or in law, I should say, and the profession of law can do this, or the profession of accounting or engineering or whatever it is can do this. And that's very broad. And people have a connotation of what they think your profession is anyway. They have their own unconscious bias or conscious biases around that and all those sort of things. And that is only surface level selling. If we go one level from that, it could be selling your firm. And your firm has a website to do that. Your firm has a marketing team to do that. And indeed, I see people on LinkedIn, some firms, everybody's got the same thing on LinkedIn except for their picture and their name. So that's selling a firm. What we want to talk about here is selling you. People do business with people. We hear these terms B2C and B2B, business to consumer, business to business. No, it's H to H, human to human. So I want you to focus in on you becoming the brand, you becoming what it is that people are attracted to. Now that you know that, I'm just looking at the time, I've got to speed this up a little bit. Now that you know that, what I want to do is take you through the process and the mindset of the people that you're branding to, that you're selling to. So if we have a look at this ladder, this is what I called the client acquisition ladder. And really what it is, it's how you get to be that authority, how you get to be that trusted advisor. We've heard that term many times before. And I'm going to give you a little extra after that, which since we've been using this for a while now, but right now with AI as it is, there's a new currency that we need to talk about, and that'll make sense as I go through. All right, so people need to know you. They need to know that you exist. They need to know who you are. They need to know a little bit about you. So that's the first rung on the ladder for branding. They need to like you, like what you stand for, like the way that you get your message out there, whatever it is. I'm not talking about hitting the like button on some media. They need to like you. Then they need to trust you. They need to know you, they need to like you, they need to trust you. And this is all to do with their brain, the conditioning that they have, the experience that they have when they're dealing with, it's like, as I said before about LinkedIn, when people jump straight in your DMs and they start selling to you. Well, hang on a minute. I don't even know if I know you yet. You're just some person that connected with me. And I didn't know if I liked you, but I pretty well don't now. And I don't trust you because you said you just wanted to connect with me. So that can be broken really quickly. And as I've put that line through the center there, trust is not the only currency, as I said, and we'll come back to that in a moment. So people need to know you, like you, and trust you, and that is surface level. Before they buy from you, buy into what it is that you believe in, what you are selling. Before they do that again and again, so repeat, and then refer. Don't you love it? And I'm sort of using LinkedIn as an analogy here again. Don't you love it when people connect with you and then the next minute they're asking you to recommend them to others? And I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute. And sometimes I ask them to remind me, hey, can you remind me when I actually used your services? They want you to give them testimonials or give them recommendations, and you haven't even done anything with them. And this ladder of trust, this ladder of client acquisition is important for us to remember, because when we jump a few rungs, people are repelled. And the whole purpose of building authority is that they get to know you quicker. They get to know you at a deeper level. They get to like what it is that you're about if it's a right fit for them. And they trust you a lot quicker as well. And in terms of, this person could solve my problems. So that's the key element here of positioning yourself. As I said, the currency now is not just trust. In the world that we live in, with AI, it's all about believability. Do I believe what this person is on about? Do I believe what it is that do I believe that they could help me? And do I believe that I could do what it is that they want me to do so that I can help myself? So believability, I believe, is a new rung now that is above trust. If people can't trust you, then trust me, then we probably shouldn't be in business. So it's about how do I get them to believe that I know what I'm talking about, that I care about them, that I have the ability and the resources and the process, the structure, whatever it is, to take them from where their problem is to where they want to go. All right, so now that we understand that, I want to introduce you to something that you may or may not already know called the 4 forces. And I've talked about this before. And these 4 forces are talking about the people that you want to do business with. And if we have a look here, what we've got are the things that they want to move away from and now. And then we have the things they want to move towards and what they want to see in the future. All right, so let's have a look at this. So if we look at now and what they want to move away from are their frustrations. These are the things that right now are frustrating them. I wish these things weren't happening. And depending on who your clients are as to what they would be. So that's now. In the future, it's what they fear will happen if they don't get rid of those frustrations. So if this keeps going the way it's going, I fear this is going to happen. And this is all the psychology of selling services. This is what's going on in your potential client's mind. Then if we look on the other side, what do they want instead? So now what they want to move towards are their wants. So for example, if their frustration is they've got a lack of cash flow, then they want a positive cash flow. It's, the opposite. And then in the future, they believe that if they continue to have those wants met, their aspirations, their longer term objectives, goals, whatever you want to call it, will be met. And this is as deep as I want to go through this right now, but I need to have an understanding of the frustrations and fears, the wants and aspirations of the people that you want to be the authority for. All right. So the last thing then to talk about is how do you build that authority? There are 5 ways that I've found from my own experience and from the experience of others that I've worked with that can really help you. And I want to share them with you. We're obviously not going to go through them all right now. However, these are the things that you need to consider. And I want you to think about which one will you walk away from here and start with. Okay, so the first one is you need to stand out. We all look the same. We all sound the same in the different professions. So how do you stand out? By the way, in a good way, right? How do you stand out? How do you be the lighthouse, so to speak, for your market? The second thing is to serve a cause. What is it that you're serving beyond what you're actually doing? What's your higher purpose reason for being in the profession that you're in? For me, the reason I work in professional services, and particularly for many years, that was mainly just law firms, is that years ago, I found out that 1 in 5 people here in Australia in the general population suffered distress, which is negative stress, to the point of a mental illness. In law, it was 1 in 2. And I thought, you know what, I can make change there. Some days it feels a little bit like the grandpa with his grandson on the beach who is picking up starfish one at a time and chucking them back in. The little boy goes, "Grandpa, what are you doing? You can't save all of them." And he picks another one up and he said, "Yeah, but I can save this one." Some days it feels a bit like that, but that's what gets me up. That's what gets me going. That's what people know about me, and it's why I'm a go-to authority in that particular sphere. So whatever it is for you, what is your global or whatever it is for you, your world, what is the cause that you serve? The third thing, and this is really powerful, is to solve now problems. So looking at the market you want to serve, what are the problems they're having now? What are their frustrations now? What are they fearing now? Not just generally, I know that these people want this or this is the problem or whatever. No. Right here, right now, contextual to what's going on in the world, what's going on in their world, what's that? And instead of solving these problems, solve those problems with your authority, your thought leadership, whatever it is that you're doing. The next one is, and as I was thinking there, that's why I use the stoplights there, because what you really want to be able to do is look at what is it right now for them that is the problem, what's stop, and help them to solve that. The next one is becoming a subject expert. Now, yes, you're an expert in your field, the field of law, and it might be a specialist field that you're in as well, but a subject expert in a part of that. So whatever that, as an example, what are those now problems are, look at that. I talked about the brain surgeon, and in fact, the brain surgeon that fixes that part of the brain. They know more about that than anybody else, right? So you're able to answer questions on that with confidence. And that's going to help you, if I use the right, I'm having a great time here today, which is good. It just gives you hope that you can be a thought leader as well, and you can give presentations and all those sort of things. I don't worry about that nowadays. I just want to come here and serve you. All right, so I'm running out of time. The last one is to speak out. So you have a cause, you have some subject matter expertise, you're an authority in a particular area of people with those particular fears and aspirations and wants and frustrations, all the things we've talked about. You've got that reach. Find every opportunity to speak to them about what it is that you are able to help them with. And not always to sell to them, but to empower them. And after a period of time, what that then says to them is this person can help me. And when they're ready, you're going to be the go-to person that they come to. All right, so if speaking's not your gig, you need to come along to one of my presentation workshops. I can teach you to do that. But choose one of those things. Is it stand out? Is it serve a cause? Is it solve now problems? Subject matter expertise or speak out. So to finish off, and I've gone over time because I put way too much in here, and hopefully you've got something out of this, is same thing as we always do on the last page. Write out some notes for yourself. What stuck out there for me? All right? Then what's the biggest insight that you got out of this? What's that thing that you went, you know what? I didn't think of that before, and now I'm going to think. It could be selling is serving, whatever it is for you. More important than just having an insight, the implementation of that insight. What's the next step? What are you going to do to take advantage of that insight? Who do you need to communicate that with? It could be people in your team. It could be others at home, whatever it is. And what's the steps that you need to take to get value out of that? These sessions, people keep telling me that they're fantastic, but they're only of any value if you do something with it. And then what's the impact going to be in your career, in your life, when you build your authority, when you position yourself and go from being invisible to in demand. Way over time. I hope you enjoyed it, and keep in touch. Join the conversation. I look forward to seeing you again at our next 20-minute transformation. Get involved in the community, get in there, ask questions, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye for now.